Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi, and she goes, "Oh, girl, you gotta hear this one. A man was arrested for running a theme park, and when they said, 'Where's your license?' he said, 'My dog ate it.' Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Girl, you gotta hear this one. Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, "You'll never guess what's with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, 'I've been through hell and now I need some help.' You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Girl, you gotta hear this one.
All caps means you're either panicking or trying to represent yourself in court. Both are mistakes. Your feelings are adorable, but they're not admissible, persuasive, or even interesting without evidence. Yes, Heather hates immunity doctrines. It's a personality trait at this point. You don't need to remind her, she wakes up angry about it. Bring receipts. No, I heard it from so and so. This is quid pro quo, not next door. Screenshots are statutes only. Don't fight each other. Fight the law. It deserves it more. If you're offended, excellent. That means you're awake, paying attention, and probably new here. No diagnosing the host. She's petty, not pathological. And don't diagnose anyone else. Stay in your lane, please and thank you. Do not summon the mods. They're tired, hangry, and may bite when provoked. Disagree loudly if you must. The algorithm eats drama for breakfast. Just keep it cute while you argue wrongfully. If you're taking screenshots of my chat, touch grass, tell your handlers. I said hi and find a hobby that isn't me.
Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you are doing well today. So, this case, it's interesting how loud the internet gets after a guilty plea, especially from people who weren't even paying attention in the first place. However, we, specifically me and Flash Fan, covered this case before the plea, before the edits, before the selective memory, and today we're here for the part that everybody loves to argue about without understanding the sentencing. This isn't about vibes. It's about what the court considers the law, what the person who is being sentenced actually did, and what accountability actually looks like. It's not what anyone wishes it looked like, but it's the receipts. So in case this is your first time ever being on this channel or first time hearing about this case, I covered this case the first time August 7th of 2024. It is Mia Bailey versus Utah versus Mia Bailey formerly known as Colin Bailey. Lots of politics in this case, in my opinion. Mia Bailey and legally changed their name to Mia Bailey. Whatever you think politically does not matter. Argue amongst yourselves. I don't care. I am going by Mia Bailey because they legally changed their name to Mia with the state of Utah. However, with that being said, biological male, transgender woman pled guilty to unaliving their parents and attempting to unalive her brother and sister-in-law. I'm just using her because it's easier for the sake of keeping the facts straight. Like I said, argue amongst yourselves. I don't care. However, you wonder if the fact that this is Utah, a very conservative area, and the fact that this person is transgender kind of played into this. I was really hoping this case would go to trial because I wanted to know. I have questions. Did they do something to you, or is it the fact that they didn't agree with your lifestyle that made you? But this is yet another example of a transgender individual becoming a convicted unaliver. And that being said, we are waiting on the sentencing right now, which I've waited a year and 4 months for. I was really hoping this would go to trial because I really wanted to see it. However, it didn't, so here we are. I hope everybody is doing well today. A couple of updates before I say hi to chat and we get into this. The judge, Judge Dugan, was found guilty on one count. I will kind of be going over any documents. I did get emailed some of the transcripts that I ordered yesterday, so we will be starting to go over those next week. I talked to a couple people about it, or I messaged a couple people to see if they wanted to help me out and collaborate. Whether they will or they won't, I don't know. They all have busy schedules. We shall see. However, with that being said, I did release a short today because Randy updated, there was an update in the federal 3 case. I am waiting for Randy to respond to this document before I read the full document, so I can read them both together. However, I did release a short on some interesting tidbits, and Florida, you need to get your shit together. But there we go. And the documents in Levy County are still locked as of like a half an hour ago when I checked the last time, so we will not be reading those until they are blocked, maybe tomorrow. All right. Flash fan, thank you for being here as always. And Flash fan, you are awesome. If no one's told you today, you are awesome. Ung Hero, thank you for the 10 gifted Squid Pro memberships. I really, really appreciate you. And does she identify as guilty? Well, yes. They had told he, whatever you feel like the need to call them, told the police that they would do it again if given the opportunity. So there was a confession as well. But I was really hoping that this would go to trial. How do you know when you received a gift membership? Is it through email? Generally, yeah, you do get an email about it. But your name will also show up green in chat. And hey, Karen, good to see you. You haven't been in chat in a long time, so I appreciate seeing you today. And Dad, how are you? And Mspire member for 11 months. I can't stay late in Western Australia. Love to all. I have love for you too. And you stay safe and get some good sleep tonight. All right. And Gail dancing. Snipe Hunter, good morning. How are you? Favored calamari. I almost read that as flavored calamari. I'm like, damn, what are we getting into today? Oh my goodness. Some of the mods bite more than others. Yes. Oh yes. Hey King Paco, how are you doing? Just got the notification. And to the person that told me a certain creator doesn't think that intros do anything, they give people time to get in here, because YouTube is slow on getting notifications out, if at all. this is an OG case on this channel, yes. I did put the link to the, video where I covered some of the documents, at least the documents that I could get publicly. I did put them in the link to that video in the chat to see exactly what they were charged with. So we are audio is generally bad, so I apologize. We'll do my best. They're appealing as we speak. Oh, well, their only punishment will be fine, loss of judgment, until well, the state was never seeking, or the federal government in Hannah Dugan's case was never seeking jail time. We read that on here. I reacted to that when as soon as I read it in the indictment, and it's but TMI, TMI. Like, yes, Utah court docs are not free. Like, I appreciate that. Yeah, and I did monetize the stream, but I put it on low because these are not streams that would need much interruption, but these are also not streams where people also like throw super chats at you. So these ones are a mixed bag. These I do because I thoroughly enjoy the process, not for the the money making opportunities. That being said, I am putting work into my other channel, which is taking away time from this channel and actually paying the bills. So if you feel the need to super chat, it is very, very, very much appreciated because of the fact that I have been putting work into a non-monetized channel, which might not seem like a lot, but when YouTube is my only income stream right now, it means a lot. What is she pleading to? Secondary? I believe so. I honestly don't know because none of the documents are free, and so it's really hard to tell what the news says versus what the thing is. But thank you for the $2 super chat. It is unbelievably appreciated. And I'm on a wait list for that super tips because they take less. So I am yes, Flash Fan also sent me the what has been released of the Amis report for the Christopher Schultz self-deletion. I'll probably be making a short to that, like a little newsy, not a newsy news thing because that's Mo's phrase and topic, but a little like case bite updates, things that are important but aren't really worth the whole stream. And because I only have 2 pages of it, it's you know, yes, and I still haven't got that video out this week. I have to record it. I've been sick this week and stressed, and I have not recorded it like I should have. So, but I'm glad they are making this public because I was really worried that they would be sentenced without anybody actually seeing. And it was supposed to start at 11 o'clock. That's why I set it for 10:50, but I was a little late because this stuff never starts on time. Yes, I'm on a wait list apparently. I have to check. I don't know. But I also do have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, so there is that. There you go. While we are waiting, I am going to check with what's Night Punter. Y'all correct me up. I am going to check Levy County's website one more time while we look for or while we wait on this to see if those documents are public. Because then I will go ahead and make a thumbnail and set up a stream for later this afternoon. Whee. My phone is now blowing up. That message wasn't for me, but it was funny nonetheless. Levy County. Oh, and congratulate Papa Squid. He is signing the contract today. So he might be down here next year, living down here. Levy County. There we go. And I haven't gotten an email saying that they're public yet, so I doubt they are, but I always like to check because I never like to go, oh, they're not public yet. And then lo and behold, nope, they are still locked. Documents 101, 102, and 103. It's 27 pages worth of stuff. Whenever it is unlocked, we will be talking about it because I like to read the full documents and not just snippets. And I know Jeremy put snippets on his short or in a short because I mean that's all he could do at the time. So we will see. I just don't have the full document because I'm not in the cool kids club like that. I do my own thing. Let's see. And who knows when this is going to start. This is why court streams, like yesterday's stream. Oh my God, the Mickey Steins. If you guys didn't see the Mickey Steins lack of hearing yesterday, what I expected to be a 5 to 10 minute hearing was like 30 seconds. And that's it. And all of a sudden it was like, you're done. We'll reschedule for next time. It is either 9, 10 a.m. or 8, 10 a.m. I'm not sure. All I know is it's 11:10 here. Didn't it get pushed back? What get pushed back? This one or Mickey Stein's? If this one got pushed back, we can always pause this stream and restart when it's but if they Sean Stein's. Yeah, it was weird because they didn't exactly say. They just said we'll reschedule it, but they were all there. And they did a sidebar and they talked about a motion for a change of venue. It was just weird. Just odd. We'll see what the live chat is saying. Okay, so Court TV is giving updates on the case, like what actually happened. So a TLDR. KSL TV previously reported on the day of Bailey's arrest. She allegedly admitted to the crime, saying she would do it again. I hate them. A protective order was filed against Bailey in 2023, detailing the exact circumstances under which she could return to her parents' home. 10 months after the protective order was put in place, Bailey allegedly entered her parents' home without permission and brutally pew-pewed them to death. So there's that. There's the quick TLDR with this case. Damn, I'm tired of not getting notifications on this channel. I get notifications for other channels, but not here. I already unsubscribed and subscribed 3 times. Yeah, it's YouTube is weird. Like, I don't know. And sometimes they really don't like giving notifications about things like this. I don't know why. The trial streaming side of YouTube is actually pretty big, but they don't seem to want to care. I miss trial streaming. It can be boring at times, but like, apparently I don't think this one. Yeah, I don't think there has to be some sort of delay, whether it's getting them there from the jail to be sentenced or something. Because this is Utah is usually on time. They run kind of crazy weird like that. I've never had a Utah hearing that was not on time. Good morning, Jen Thunder. How are you? Join us for the wait while we wait for these fun doc or this hearing. Let's see. Like there's no lawyers, there's nobody. Interesting. While we are here, I just want to give a quick update on the Anthony Shea case in Orange County. They pushed back the trial to August 26th of next year. It was scheduled for February. Yeah, the only thing with the Tyler Robinson stuff is that the last hearing, half of it was behind closed doors. So, oh, there we go. Here's some lawyers. Anthony Shea is the former Orange County Sheriff's deputy that is accused of unaliving his wife, another Orange County Sheriff's employee, and attempting to stage it as a suicide. That has been pushed back to August of next year for discovery issues. Yes, Sarah Grace Patrick is another one I have to check up on. I was running down my or it's August 17th of 2026. 6 to 7 days. I knew I had it written down somewhere in here, but Sarah Grace Patrick is another one that has to be checked up on quickly. Carroll County. There we go. It's either in Mountain or Pacific. I think it's in Mountain, but I'm not entirely sure. To be perfectly honest, I'm really not sure. Usually they have a local time in the corner. They had a 3-month hearing on Monday. Why didn't for some reason that wasn't in my calendar. Interesting. But I do have her, since we're going through calendars, I was updating my calendar this week. I wasn't up to recording a video, but I actually did some recording or some calendar updates, which is half the battle. Sarah Grace, the TikTok trial is supposed to start Monday the 5th. And this is what I have to write in. This is why I bought erasable pens, because now I can, a 3-minute hearing. Yeah, that's what I was expecting from Sean Steins yesterday. I was expecting it to be short, but I was not expecting it to be that short. Search by party. I'm still waiting to see in this Sarah Grace I'm waiting for this trial because I want to see any of this evidence. Something doesn't make sense about this that I can't exactly put my finger on. But something about Sarah Grace. Yeah. The Nick Rayner one was 1 minute. Yeah, they're relatively quick. So, they're relatively quick, but they're usually not that quick. But also sometimes like the evidentiary ones can be hours. You never quite know what you're going to get, and it makes life unpredictable. Let's see. 110. 19. I'm on the Carroll County docket right now, and it's definitely hard to navigate. State versus that. Yeah. I don't understand why they make it so damn hard to. They make it so hard to monitor all this. Like, it's supposed to be public information, yet they make it super hard for anybody to figure out so that you don't want to go looking for it. It's the weirdest freaking. It's annoying. Nine likes. 9 likes for 16 people. I mean, that's over 50%. I mean, I would love it. I'll probably get more likes and more people when we're actually doing something. Public-ish. Yes. Yes. Public-ish. And as crazy as Florida is, and as ass backwards as they are sometimes, their documents are generally easy to get. Some of the websites are very touchy, but you don't have to search super hard to find the website. Some of these documents, like, you have to look. Yeah. Oh my God. Squid has a large bill for documents this month. Any help size is so appreciated. It qualifies for the begging fund. Yeah, the 2 transcripts that I got from the Hannah Dugan trial cost me $74.80. So it was not it was not a cheap it was not a cheap thing. There are some orders in the Sarah Grace Patrick from the 1215 order. Law and Crime Network's Rule 22 request. I don't know. It seems like all the Western states are very secretive, or not secretive, but like they're gonna get money any way they can. They're gonna give you documents, but you're gonna pay for them. We do have some stuff to go over in the Sarah Grace Patrick, so depending on how long this takes, we might do that. So, or we might do a hey Flashman, what do you think of this? In the Sarah Grace Patrick, next week sometime going through all these documents. However, going through like a case background. Okay. Teeth? You want to do your teeth? Okay, I have to go with the little and brush her teeth. Even Georgia is secretive with their court filings. Yeah, they let you look at them, but you can't download them without paying for them. Here I can though. Like here, it still makes me add it to cart. So this, it still says add to cart at the bottom. So I'm going to let you guys watch this, and I am going to go watch go brush the little's teeth, because she came in here wanting to brush her teeth. So who am I to deny a toddler wanting to brush their teeth? I will be back in a hot minute.
All right. This report headed for Washington County, State of Utah is now in session with your Honorable Judge P.C. Barnes presiding. Please proceed.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Welcome to 5th District Court. Matter before the court is State of Utah versus Mia Bailey, case number 2415-01193. The matter is before the court for sentencing. The court has received and read the pre-sentence investigation report. The court has also read victim impact statements submitted by the state, letters from Ms. Bailey's brothers, Corey, Dustin, and Tyler Bailey, as well as her sister-in-law, Amanda Bailey. The court has also read 3 letters submitted by the deceased grandchildren. Court has read psychological evaluation report submitted by the defense, prepared by Julia Conley, PhD, dated December 20th, 2024. Court has also read mitigation report prepared by Marissa Sandal, dated December 14th, 2025. Yesterday, a motion was filed by the defense asking this court to allow Ms. Bailey to be sentenced in her absence. Before I get to that, Mr. Stout, Mr. Jaeger, is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Stout, is the defense ready?
We are, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you wish to make any argument on the motion submitted?
Sir, based on the discussion we had in chambers this morning, I will just be submitting on the written document as is the written motion.
Thank you. Mr. Jaeger?
Your Honor, the state will just submit to your discretion, Your Honor.
Thank you. As the court stated, the court read the motion that was filed by the defense yesterday after reviewing the evaluations and mitigation report, as well as other documents that has been submitted. The court denies the defendant's motion to allow Ms. Bailey to not be present during sentencing. Rule 22B of the Utah Rules of Criminal Procedure states on this point that the defendant may be sentenced in defendant's absence, does not have the absolute right, and the court for those reasons is denying the motion today. Mr. Jaeger, turn the time over to you.
Who honestly
The state
would,
discourse can have 2
okay,
brothers.
why would anybody honestly think that the state was going to approve that? Not being present for your sentencing, it's kind of accountability. You can't hide behind like, oh, I'm in jail. You can't hide behind that crap to not face sentencing. Suck it up, Buttercup. You did the crime. Face the music.
Who are victims in this matter that are going to address the court. We will start with Corey. Dustin would be the second one that will be speaking.
Thank you, Corey Bailey. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor. I apologize. I'm kind of still unprepared for things. I come up here still conflicted about all of this. Just thinking a lot the past few days what it means to have justice served. As you have read my letter, I don't feel like there can be any true justice in something like this. It is unfair all around that my family had been broken by this in many ways. we've lost our parents, and we've lost a sibling in many ways as well. So either way, no matter what, we are losing as a family on this sentence. For me and my family, the truest sense of justice we can come up with is making sure that we are safe now and in the future. And then also making sure that Mia is taken care of in the state hands as well for the foreseeable future. And that it stays that way. I've seen what happens to people who are kicked out of the system and live on the streets, ostracized by society, and it is not easy. And knowing that being in jail is not easy either. Neither one of those things are a good outlook for my sibling. Him being out is not a good outlook for my family, and our beliefs is that we would still possibly be under threat in the future.
Did you catch it? He still called him a him. Like, even though we're calling them Mia because they legally changed their name, this is the brother. This is the person who was shot at. Not unalived, obviously, but that would be weird. But shot at. Still called him a him. You think that might be one of the triggers of why this person committed this crime to begin with? It's stupid being so offended by being called the wrong gender pronoun or whatever that you'd be willing to unalive people. However, psychology matters and people get, weird.
So we would like to recognize that, it is unfair all around for all of us. What all of this has become, essentially. I simply wish we could figure out a better way, and I can't comment on the actions of that day, role of mentality was going on, whether it was just anger or not. I don't know. I'm still, as I said, very conflicted about all of this. All I know is that what's best for us and what's best for Mia is probably staying in prison for as long as possible. And that's just, for us, that's kind of the reality we've come to.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
And I'm not judging either way. I'm just pointing out little tidbits of information that I notice and things I hear.
And the state would now call Dustin.
I am fully under the impression that as long as you are a consenting adult, you can do whatever the hell you want to do as long as it doesn't affect other people.
Mr. Bailey,
However,
good morning to you.
My opinion is that you should not expect everybody else to cave to your demands just because that's what you want. Just because that's what you want, don't expect people to always conform, and you have to be okay with that. People will have a hard time accepting people who, in their eyes, have a hard time accepting themselves. And I kind of understand where people were coming from on that. This is a very complicated and conflicting story, which is part of the reason that makes it interesting, is the why. In my opinion, and this is the one time I'll give you my opinion on the topic, people have a hard time accepting other people who can't accept themselves. So when people don't want to call you they or them or the opposite gender, you kind of have to be okay with that. That doesn't mean they hate you. That just means it's weird to them. it's just, it's just weird. And honestly, sometimes it is a little weird. I heard somebody put it interesting in an interesting way the other day in a comment section when I was just going through and reading the comments because, eating my popcorn and seeing the arguments ensue. Someone was like, "Why are we telling gay kids it's not okay to be gay and you have to be the opposite gender?" And I was like, "Oh, that's an interesting conundrum and way to look at it. I never even thought of that." It's just you know, and it's okay to be you, but don't expect everybody else to call you whatever you want to be called. It's just odd to people.
That'd be great. Your Honor, we sit before this court as the children, grandchildren, sister, brother, mother, extended family, and friends. The majority of the remaining family that hasn't spoken today of Joseph Blue Bailey and Gail Bailey, two real people whose lives were defined not by how they died, but how they lived. We also stand here as a family to Mia. That dual reality is not something we choose, but is something that we must carry honestly. We are addressing the court, Mia, and the public at the same time, because the truth in this case must be spoken plainly without distortion and without hiding behind abstraction. Our father, Joseph Blue Bailey, spent most of his working life as a maritime engineer on tugboats. He was gone for months at a time, doing physically demanding and often dangerous work so his family would be stable and secure. He believed in responsibility, not excuses. If something broke, he fixed it. He showed his values through consistency rather than words, by working hard, providing for his family, and being present in the ways he knew how to be. Our mother, Gail, was a homemaker, but advocacy was her life's work. She spent years navigating schools, doctors, and systems that resisted accommodation, particularly when it came to mental illness. She did that work without a title, without pay, and without recognition, because her children mattered more than anything else. Long before most people understood what autism or schizophrenia meant, she was fighting school systems, attending IEP meetings, researching, calling, pushing, and insisting that her child not be written off because she was difficult or complicated. When Mia struggled, Gail's response was not frustration or withdrawal, it was persistence. She meant it, even when it had exhausted her, even when it cost her her peace, and even when it delayed the life she and our father had worked decades to earn. What we miss is not abstract. We miss sitting on the porch with them at the end of the day when we were visiting. We miss phone calls that didn't have an agenda, just checking in. We miss our mom's pies that won contests and anchored our holidays, something familiar, expected, and uniquely hers. We miss our dad's steady presence, doing small repairs, keeping things moving, and grinding the room without needing to be the center of it. The grandchildren miss grandparents who showed up, who babysat, ferried to them sports and activities, spoiled them, and made them feel safe. These ordinary moments are gone forever. If Blue and Gail were here today, they would not ask for the harshest sentence simply because it exists. They would ask for treatment, structure, safety, acknowledgement of severe mental illness, and yes, consequences, but not retribution. They believed accountability mattered. They did not believe in destroying people to satisfy anger. Mia, we do need to speak to you directly and plainly. What you did ended the lives of our parents, our family, and that truth does not soften with time, explanation, or context. Two people are gone forever because of your actions, and accountability is required. It must be serious, and it must reflect the harm that was done. At the same time, we refuse to pretend you arrived at that moment with a healthy mind, full capacity, or adequate support. You did not. You arrived there after years of severe mental illness, escalating instability, and repeated failures by systems that were supposed to intervene when it was clear you were not safe or well. Saying this does not excuse what you did. It tells the truth about what happened. Accountability does not require us to deny your illness, and acknowledging your illness did not diminish the lives that were taken. Both realities exist at the same time. We want you to understand this. The consequences we are asking for are not rooted in hatred or revenge. They are rooted in responsibility, safety, and the reality that you required structure and treatment to survive. What happened cannot be undone, but pretending you were someone you were never capable of being does not serve justice, and it does not honor our parents. Your Honor, we support consecutive sentences because 2 lives were taken. Each life deserves to be recognized. That is not negotiable. But we are asking the court to understand that life without the possibility of parole is not justice here. It is abandonment disguised as severity. Consecutive sentences allow for recognition of each loss, long-term incapacitation, mandatory treatment and structure, and future professional review, not automatic release, but accountability over time. That distinction matters. This tragedy did not occur in isolation. One of the most painful truths is that Mia did try to get help. In the days before the murders, Mia voluntarily checked herself into a state-run mental health facility. She was experiencing significant psychiatric symptoms. She knew something was wrong. She sought care, and she was released after only 3 days. At the time of her release, she was still experiencing serious symptoms. She was not stable, she was not safe, and she was not adequately supported. We believe, and we say this with care and seriousness, that she should not have been discharged so quickly. That decision was another failure in a long chain of failures that left everybody vulnerable. That failure harmed Mia, and it endangered our parents. In the months leading up to this tragedy, Mia was also able to obtain powerful hormone medications through a telehealth system that required almost nothing of her and protected almost no one else. Just a few video calls, roughly 15 minutes each. That is what stood between Mia and medications that would further destabilize an already fragile and deteriorating mind. There was no meaningful psychiatric evaluation. There was no sustained oversight. There was no follow-up that matched the severity of her mental illness. What existed instead was a model that functioned less like medical care and more like a subscription, one that prioritized access and liability protection over clinical responsibility. We want to be absolutely clear for the record. There is nothing wrong with being transgender. We support LGBTQ rights fully. This has nothing to do with identity. This is about medical negligence. Providing powerful hormones to a person as a psychiatric crisis without proper psychiatric safeguards is not affirming care, it is reckless. In this case, it has acted as an accelerant, intensifying instability, impairing judgment, and compounding risk. That failure harmed Mia, and it endangered our parents. Despite loving Mia, despite knowing her struggles, despite trying to help, we were also unable to prevent her access to a firearm. Families are expected to manage psychiatric risk without authority, without enforcement power, and without meaningful legal tools. The burden is placed on families until tragedy makes intervention unavoidable. Our parents paid the price for that gap. Justice should be honest enough to acknowledge it. And Mia, if you are ever released decades from now, the reality you face will already be severe. Being a transgender felon in Utah will make integration into society extraordinarily difficult. That reality alone is a lifelong consequence. Allowing parole eligibility does not guarantee release. It preserves the role of evaluation, treatment assessment, and accountability, rather than declaring that no amount of change, insight, or stability will ever matter. Our parents believed in a structure with accountability was stronger than hopelessness. Your Honor, in closing, we ask the court to impose consecutive sentences. We ask the court to acknowledge severe mental illnesses as real and relevant. And we ask the court to deliver justice that our parents, practical, compassionate, and grounded, would recognize as worthy of their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with a lot of things he said, that it's like a multifactorial failure.
Your Honor, just to follow up with that, and I recognize I cannot say that better than what is already spoken. But the state is also asking for consecutive. And we're asking for consecutive because that is our policy and that is our practice. And that has been the practice since I've worked here back in 1999, Your Honor. When you have two separate lives, we recognize each life. And that's what we have here. And each life deserves a separate consequence. And that's why it's consecutive, Your Honor. The second
Fair enough.
reason why I'd be requesting for consecutive is because when you look at aggravated murder, there are several different factors. And under 76-5202, in this case, and you only need one factor to charge aggravated murder, but in this case, you have 4 of those factors. First of all, under 2A, 2 or more individuals' lives were lost on that day. Under 2B, when you commit a homicide with an attempt to kill another, that is an aggravated factor. We also have that here. The defendant attempted to kill Corey.
That's true.
In fact, in the
Also
interview,
did
the
attempt to kill his
defendant
brother.
stated that the brother was not her main target, but she would not have been sad had the gunshot killed him. The third is under 76-5202-3, an actor knowingly created a risk of death to another individual. Your Honor, Corey's wife was also there. And as Mia was running down the stairs and they heard the shots upstairs, Corey's wife hid in the closet. Gratefully, Corey got his wife out of the closet and started climbing out the window. When Mia fired that shot through the door, it went right into the closet where Corey's wife was. It is a miracle that she is not dead. It was very close to having 3 deaths on that day. And the fourth factor, Your Honor, as to why this must be consecutive is because Mia knew that she was not allowed at that house. And yet she still went to the home despite a protective order, despite knowing that she was not welcome there. That is an aggravated burglary. She broke into that home. And in doing so, that is the fourth factor under 76-5202, Section B, that is an aggravated factor. Based on those 4 factors, Your Honor, we are asking that this be consecutive. The final reason that I'll point out as to why this should be consecutive is just based on the heinous and premeditated nature of the crime. Mia planned this crime out, purchased a gun. Again, Mia knew that she shouldn't even be purchasing a gun because of a protective order. She went to
Take note, Florida. Take note.
the range. She practiced. She planned when to go, specifically targeting 4 individuals. Your Honor, I was going to go into much more detail about the heinous nature of this crime. I was prepared today to have 2 officers testify and play actually some additional evidence. But I'm not going to do that because of what the brothers have asked for and because of how they presented themselves and the statement that they have made. I believe that is sufficient. And I'm just asking you to follow what they have asked for and that you sentence Mia consecutively on these counts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jager. Mr. Stout.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple quick housekeeping items. I would ask that the court issue an order that the psychological evaluation and the mitigation report be made part as an addendum to the pre-sentence report so that would follow my client to the prison.
That'll be the order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Fair enough. There's 19 people and 16 likes. Can 3
Your Honor, on
people just hit
behalf
that like
of
button for me?
Mia Bailey, I am asking the court to impose concurrent sentences. Utah Code 76-3-401
No.
addresses what the court needs to consider when considering concurrent or consecutive sentences. Subsection 2 specifically says the court shall consider the gravity and circumstances of the offenses, the number of victims, as well as the history, character, and rehabilitative needs of the defendant. And I will focus my comments today on Mia's history and character and rehabilitative needs. First, and I think very importantly, Mia has no prior criminal history. None. No prior convictions, no prior.
Okay, I hate this. I hate this. It's like the freaking judge. Well, she was a good judge for blah blah fucking years. No one cares. No one cares if you lived 20 some odd years, 40 some odd years, 60 some odd years as a good person. You killed 2 people and you admitted to it. You pled guilty. Sorry, bro. Sorry about your luck. But you not only unalived them, you admitted and you pled guilty. It doesn't matter how good of a person you were. I don't care. You knew that unaliving someone is wrong. You did it anyway. You successfully unalived 2 people who birthed you, brought you into this fucking world. And I don't know what it is, but I started covering this case because I have a knack for covering kids who unalive their parents. And I think it's in an attempt to figure out what not to do as a parent. Because, you know, because. But like, ay. I'm sorry I had to interrupt, but you know, that's what I do. It's a commentary channel. What the fuck?
Arrests. And what the court has already heard today and what the court has already read in the pre-sentence report, as well as the victim impact statements, is that Mia is severely mentally ill. She was diagnosed with autism at age 4, which, to be clear, is not a mental illness. It is a disability, and it does greatly affect her behavior and affected her development. She's also been diagnosed with ADHD, OCD, anxiety, depression, psychosis, possible bipolar with psychosis, and schizophrenia. Part of this, Your Honor, in the summer of 2023 and 2024, she was admitted to the hospital for paranoia, delusions, and hallucinations. She was discharged the most recent time that she committed herself, as has been mentioned. She was discharged 3 days later, and 10 days later, she murdered her parents. I want to quote from 2 of the victim impact statements, because honestly, I think they say better than I could what I want to convey to the court. And I'll try to do this without identifying the relationships, but these are in the pre-sentence report, victim impact statements the court has read. I need to say something that's difficult to articulate while carrying all this pain. Mia was severely mentally ill. I grew up watching her struggle with autism and schizophrenia. I saw how hard the victims worked to help her, to find treatment that would work, to support her, even when she was difficult and frightening and exhausting to be around. They never stopped trying because they understood something about her condition that's hard for a lot of people to grasp, that her cognitive functioning and emotional regulation were profoundly impaired in ways that make her fundamentally different from neurotypical adults. What she did was devastating and unforgivable in so many ways. She deserves to spend decades in prison for taking them from me, from all of us. But I recognize what the victims spent their lives recognizing, that Mia's actions came from a place of severe psychiatric dysfunction.
Then why didn't she plead by means of insanity?
The combination of her autism, schizophrenia, and the hormonal destabilization she was experiencing created a perfect storm that her already impaired brain couldn't withstand. From another one of the impact statements, and this one's a little more brief. I need this court to understand something fundamental. Mia is not a neurotypical adult who made calculated evil decisions. Mia has severe autism and schizophrenia, a combination of conditions that left her functioning at the cognitive and emotional level of a young child, particularly during times of stress or psychiatric crisis. And I offer these comments, Your Honor, not as an excuse, but somewhat of an explanation, and just on behalf of Mia, for the court to understand what led up to these horrific events. What this shows, Your Honor, is that Mia's history and character is not that of a calculated, evil, cold-hearted person. Her rehabilitative needs are significant, and very well, she may be rehabilitatable, but only time will tell. We can't predict the future on that. I don't know, I don't think anybody knows 20, 30 years from now where Mia will be as far as whether she can function in society, whether she's paid the price. By pleading guilty, Your Honor, she accepted responsibility for causing the death of her parents and assaulting her brother. In the pre-sentence interview, as noted in the pre-sentence report, Mia expressed remorse for her actions and regret for what she did. For all of this, she will spend significant time in prison. But as we all know, how much time she spends in prison will be up to the Board of Pardons. The board will be in the best position in the future to decide if and when Mia can re-enter society. Both the options the court has of concurrent or consecutive, both have the life top as an option. So that, simply put, by imposing concurrent sentences, this will give the Board of Pardons and Parole the greatest flexibility to determine if and when appropriate to allow Mia to be paroled, to be released, and to re-enter society. That's what I'm asking the court to do, is simply give the board the most discretion by allowing concurrent sentences so that they can make that determination, recognizing that under either scenario, they could keep her there for the rest of her life. But concurrent allows them the greatest flexibility to make that decision in the future. And with that, I will submit, Your Honor, I believe my client still wants me to read the statement when the court is ready for that. She understands she has a right to, well, I'll let the court address that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Stout. You may go ahead and read the statement.
Gross.
Thank you.
Written by your client.
And Your Honor, this, Mia did write the statement. She, I had talked to her about her option to address the court directly. I also offered the option for her to prepare a statement and have me read it. So I did help her with the very last part of this, but this is her statement, her words. It's fairly short. It brings me great pain and regret of the events that followed. I was not in a stable mindset at the time, and if only I had gotten help, this would have been preventable. It makes me want to die because I can't live with myself. I am sincerely, deeply sorry to my family that I committed this atrocity. I wish I could earn forgiveness in time. Because of my religious beliefs as a Muslim, it would be appropriate to take my life for atonement for what I did. Your Honor, those are Mia's words. And I'm just asking the court to impose concurrent sentences again to give the board the greatest flexibility about making that decision in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stout. Anything else that the defense wishes to present?
No, Your Honor, that's it.
Mr. Jager, anything else?
Your Honor, if we could just approach for a moment.
You may.
All right. Well, good thing we're a little behind so I can catch up. Speak for yourself.
Thank you, counsel.
Like I'm one of those people who are like, speak for yourself. You did this.
Thank you, counsel. Mr.
Don't say anything at all.
Can you escort Ms. Bailey up to the lectern, please?
Sidebar.
Thank you. Well,
That hairline is definitely a dude.
The court
No
greatly
offense.
appreciates the brothers' sons addressing the court. You know, the gravity that this court feels in the courtroom is very real. It's unfortunate these things happen. And Miss Bailey, you're here because of horrible acts that you committed. The thing that the court's able to receive, as I stated earlier, as I prepared for today, it's the letters that are submitted. The letters give me an opportunity to understand what the victims have been going through. I didn't know your parents, but I feel I kind of know them now. And that's important. That's important because as we leave the courtroom here today, that life is going to go on for everyone. And certainly all of us feel for the victims in this case. And the victims are real.
They are.
I'll just read
Come on, Judge. Stop singing so slow.
one part of a statement that the granddaughter wrote. She said, one of my last and most treasured memories with them, Grandma, Grandpa, was a simple, quiet moment. We sat on their porch together watching the sunset. That moment means a lot to me. It was the last bit of quality time I spent with them.
Is the judge crying?
We didn't need words. Even in the quiet of that memory, I felt their love and warmth. Every sunset I see now reminds me of them and our last moments together. Losing them has left a constant ache in me that I've been carrying ever since. See, the reality is that it's not just that your parents have passed on now with an act that you committed. It's the ripple effect that so many people feel. And it's a cliche for a court to try to suggest that after sentencing that we can all move on. But with that said, I sincerely hope that the grandchildren and loved ones and siblings and the divide that this type of thing has caused, that there can be a mending of fences and there can be a mending with the siblings. It's been difficult. I think that your parents would have been very proud of your brothers in a very difficult circumstance today on what they said here to the court. I felt it had a very, very compassionate tone toward you. And yet there was accountability, and yet there was the love and the things that your parents taught your family. And that came out, and that should have come out, and I appreciate hearing that. Your acts on that day were very chilling. If we follow what happened, you came to the house, you had a gun, you shot your parents, then you proceeded to go downstairs, the door was locked, shot into the room, your brother Corey and Amanda.
I haven't either. That's the first time.
And then you went back upstairs. Miss Bailey then went back upstairs. She stated she returned to her father, who was lying on the ground, and shot him one more time in the head to make sure he was dead. Spent shell casings were also found near Joseph Bailey's body. She heard her mother making noises. Miss Bailey walked back over to her mother and shot her in the head to make sure she was dead. Gravity of the circumstances, again, are there. And as to the sentence today, the sentence should and will be consecutive sentences.
Good.
Bailey, in case 2415-01193 to the charge of aggravated murder, a first-degree felony, you are hereby sentenced to serve 25 years to life. Count 2, aggravated murder, first-degree felony, you're hereby sentenced to serve 25 years to life. Count 3, aggravated assault, a third-degree felony, you're hereby sentenced to serve 0 to 5 years, always at the Utah State Prison, to run consecutive one with the other. Restitution will remain open. You're hereby remanded to the Department of Corrections to serve this sentence. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court will be in recess.
Great, thank you.
So, question, 25 to life. 25 years, they're eligible for parole. So after 50 years, they're eligible for parole, 25 and 25. I mean, I don't know. And it being Utah, what prison are they in? I mean, what ward? And how is life behind bars? It's an interesting it's an interesting situation. It is definitely definitely an interesting situation. This case was interesting, and I wanted to see this go to trial, me being selfish and wanting to see something go to trial. But I wanted to see it go to trial because I wanted answers and an insight into certain mentality, in the sense of how do we stop this from happening in the future? Can we learn something from this? It's just, yeah, it was a strange way to say that sentence. So 25 to life, so a minimum of 25 years, then 25 to life, so a minimum of 50 years because they're consecutive, and parole after that because he didn't say life sentence, no possibility of parole. It just, it's just a weird way of saying it, but that's the first time I've ever seen a judge get that emotional. He did hold it back really well, but is there some sort of info from Utah where he goes and thinks she is a woman? Well, they legally changed their name. So their legal name in the state of Utah is Mia. I don't know about the gender, if you can change that legally, because technically that's a birth thing, but I don't know. However, that was the reason that the court was calling them Mia, because they legally changed their name. So it was interesting. Interested in watching the Dugan sentencing. That is federal, so I don't know if that will be, yeah. Yes, this right here. Have much better psychiatric health care and stop telling kids that they can choose what they are. There's no such thing as a trans child. There's just a child. When you're an adult and your brain is fully developed and you feel like that is what you need to do, by all means. But when you're trying to tell a child that they were born in the wrong body just because they like pink or just because they like to play with Barbies. I know gay guys who I grew up with who loved Barbies. Like you like what you like. But when someone in a comment section the other day of something unrelated to this case, but just in general, said we need to stop telling gay people that they are not gay and trying to force them into being straight by, and this is paraphrasing what the commenter actually said, but it was something about stop trying to tell gay people that they are straight and in the wrong body. Just let them be gay. Like, just be who you are. But like, we need to stop telling that. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, handing out transgender pamphlets in school is so wrong. I didn't even know that 2 of my teachers in high school were married until someone put 2 and 2 together that their last names were the same, and we saw them get into the same car at the end of the day. We didn't realize that they were married to each other, and I was a sophomore in high school when we realized this. So what? 16, 15? Like, you don't you shouldn't know what your teacher's personal lives are like. You just shouldn't. It's not you're there to learn. You're not there to like it's just weird. Yeah, have questionnaires, especially when those questionnaires it's 2 separate issues in my opinion for those questionnaires. The questionnaires are just bad to begin with, but then when you don't tell the parents that those questionnaires and you get and the parents find out and are angry and it's the parents' fault, something's just weird. But that's all I got for you guys this morning. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Tomorrow, eh, if I stream tomorrow, it would yeah, I know loads of gay people, none of them wanna change their gender. And I do know someone who is transgender, but he doesn't well, they don't and I still have a problem calling him a woman because 'cause I'm sorry if I ever see him, he looks like a man. Like, I'm sorry, but at the same time, like, he's okay with that. He's like, "You call me anything you want as long as it's not a slur." Calling him by the wrong gender is not offensive to him, it just is what it is. It's just it just is what it is. And he lives his life very peacefully and doesn't force his lifestyle on other people, and I don't force my lifestyle on him, so we all live in harmony and peace together. I'm gonna see if there's anybody I can redirect y'all to. I think Mo is live. Yep, Petty Express. Um, Robert Gouveia is live doing Judge Dugan is guilty. So we got a 50-50. I any requests? Let's go to Mo. Let's go to Mo. Dude looks like a lady. Well, kinda. Y'all have a great day, and I will see you guys on the next one. I am going to be uploading a couple of shorts maybe today on the other channel, this channel. I'm going to try to get a whole bunch of stuff done. Whether I do or not is another story, but that's the goal. Hopefully it works out. But thanks, guys, for hanging out. Tell Mo I said hi and that I sent you. And y'all, I'll see you on the next one. At the latest, Monday, 2 p.m. Bye.